You can't like half kill a person and then leave him lying dead and you say, I didn't kill that person, you know, I only stabbed him, he died himself. It may be okay to ban it a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, you know what, I'm risking my life telling you guys this, okay? Hello, how are you? Can we don't film today? I really don't feel like filming today. No? No? There's nobody there. Okay, anyway. So, welcome. My name is Bao. My handle is Bao the Pigeon. And today we are going into something Singapore. Many people are interested in Singapore and I thought it'd be fun to do another one. Whether people watch it or not, well, that's another thing. That's up to God or YouTube to decide. But I'm very excited. Have you ever felt wet gum before? They call it like spent gum. Gum that spent, that means you have already chewed it. Have you ever felt it in your hands? So imagine that under your seat. I have actually touched a lot of spent gums before. So let me say to all of you, I'm for it, okay? Because I also find it really disgusting. If you don't agree, then so be it. Let me know in the comments, okay? So I will bring you through the start till the end, how everything unfolded into the ban of chewing gum in Singapore. Actually, I've seen this video recently that compared Singapore to Ba Sing Se. Only the start, okay, the thumbnail. If you didn't watch Avatar, the cartoon version,
what are you waiting for?
Go and watch that and then you will understand what I'm talking about. So Ba Sing Se basically is this manipulated town in Earth nation, if I remember correctly. It's very likely I'm wrong. It's been a long time since I watched Avatar. But basically, inside Ba Sing Se, everyone is like, they are told,
"You're in Ba Sing Se now. Everyone is safe here."
This video has actually compared us to Ba Sing Se, which I thought is freaking funny. I mean, just the thumbnail and video title. There are Singaporeans who are like,
if you were a Singaporean, you would be in jail right now.
And blah blah blah. I don't know. I mean, if you are so against Singapore, then
Move out.
I'm not against that, but I mean, I still want to live here, so I can't. I won't.
Yes, I can't.
What's it saying?
I won't be saying too many political stuff because honestly, I don't really know either. If I say anything, there's a high chance I'm wrong, and I'm just putting myself like at risk of getting thrown into jail now.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. I live here, and honestly, I think it's not bad for now. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. So last time, actually, we allowed chewing gum. Obviously, yeah, you must allow chewing gum to know how terrible it is to ban it, right? The reason why we have such a hard stance on chewing gum is because of the problem that it caused. I wouldn't say that it doesn't cause as much problem in other countries, but I would say because of how I think we are about how we want to direct Singapore towards then. If you have been to Singapore, you know that there's like a Singapore River that is basically along Clarke Quay, and before 1970s, it's this place where people just throw their freaking trash. They don't even care, don't know environmental stuff then. So like rubbish into the sea, chewing gum into the sea, wasted cooking oil into the sea. And so in 1977 to 1987, Singapore actually cleaned up Singapore River. And I think then we have already decided that we want to go towards like a clean Singapore. There is no NYC vibes for us, okay? But I've heard it smells like pee and wee, I think. Okay, anyway, so the direction that we want to go towards is like a clean and green Singapore. You know, now our motto is clean and green Singapore, but I don't know about then. But I know that they want to bring Singapore towards this direction where it's very clean and you know, tourists will want to come, and when tourists come, that's when we have money, we have jobs. For a small economy like us, we need to survive. Okay, so it all starts with the image, right? We actually took 10 long years. I'm sure this includes like the planning and the implementation, you know, everything from start to end. It took 10 years, okay, 1977 to 1987, and that's how committed we are. If you go to another country, there's a very high chance they may start the effort and they will just abandon it, okay? Let's just put it that way, I wouldn't say who. Let's start talking about chewing gum. What's the problem with it? Actually, for a very long time, chewing gum has posed a problem. So the lift will be just stuck with chewing gum, the walls, the staircase. And because chewing gum is, it has this rubber adhesive thing. And so at the end of the day, it becomes very hard to remove. What happened was that if you're a Singaporean, you know that they do washing every week or every few weeks under the HDB block. So that is like some high pressure water jets, okay? But even those regular high pressure water jets,
Maybe it's not really high pressure.
maybe just regular pressure water jets, they were unable to remove the stains caused by chewing gums. And so they had to spend 10k or something on this high pressure water jets. And 10k is just the price of a high pressure water jet that was good enough to remove the chewing gum maybe at one area, and then they had to spend more money for another area, you get what I mean? So I don't know how many 10k's was spent, but I would think it's pretty significant because there are already a lot of HDBs sprouting up then. Not just HDBs but also public areas, okay? You know, we are very committed to it, so if we need to spend this kind of cleaning money, we will spend it, okay? Right now you are thinking,
This is against human rights. We just want to chew gum. What's the big deal?
right? Okay, you know who to blame? You know who to blame now? I'll tell you who to blame. It's your parents. It's our parents' generation, because usually the people who are actually causing this mess then are teenagers. Were teenagers. And let's calculate, okay? So that's about like in the 1970s. Sorry, 1970s to 1980s. By estimation, if you calculate, that's about like maybe they're in their 50s, 60s. Those are our parents, okay? If your parents are like complaining, oh, last time in the old days I could chew gum, blah 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 blah, they are the reason why we can't chew any now. It's because the education then for chewing gum is also quite terrible, I would think. But let's talk about education later, because this is actually a big point that people like to bring up. So don't blame the government, blame our parents' generation. So on 21st November 1983, the then Minister for Foreign Affairs and Culture, Mr. S. Dhanabalan, he already considered a ban on gum sale. So this is in 1983. So when was the actual ban? It was in 1992. So that is a 9 years. So actually this minister has already given us a lot of time, and then we didn't listen. Who's to blame? Yes. Start thinking, 9 years. Okay, so he already considered a ban, but he didn't go ahead with it. Why? Because he wanted to try a softer approach. So what happened was that he went to SBC, which is Singapore Broadcasting Channel, Singapore Broadcasting Corporation. So now it's MediaCorp. They actually stopped doing advertisements for chewing gum. That was the soft approach that I could find from the NLB website, okay? But how much effort was actually put into educating the citizens, this I have no idea, okay? Maybe they have already done lots of educational thing, but I couldn't get any information, so there could be, there may not be, but
The softer approach did not work.
so we already had warnings for 9 years, kinda, right? If there are people who got caught littering, maybe they'll get fined. But what about the people who didn't get caught littering? You can say that, oh, okay, there's like saliva, you can use the DNA test. But do you think we have the budget for this? You think we will want to go and take every single gum that's stuck like every freaking where, and then go and check like the DNA? You know how long that's gonna take? You know how much gum there was then? I don't know, I wasn't born, but I would think it is a lot. Okay, it's significant enough to have a ban. No way they're going to spend a lot of resources on cleaning and also catching the people who are doing the littering. But I mean, I think they did catch some people for littering, you know, sticking their gum around, but how many enforcers could there be? So there definitely needs to be like a mindset change in how we deal with gum, which could have come with education. But would you think it would have worked for teenagers? Just think about it. In your teenage years, do you care about the government's environmental efforts? I'll give you 3 seconds.
No, right?
Okay, maybe you cared, but I would say I didn't, so you can start coming at me, okay? Do you want Singapore to be clean and green at 16 when you can't even get your life together? So, no, that's not gonna happen. You don't even give a about anything else except for your own school stuff or, friendships, blah, 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 drama. Would the education have gotten through? I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit. A little is better than none. If you're a Singaporean, you may have heard of the train incidents that happened that were the last straw. We had 2 back-to-back, okay, not really back-to-back, July and August 1991. So I would say that is sort of back-to-back. During these 2 instances, what happened was, because the gum was stuck on the door of an MRT train, and the door couldn't close like fully. So if it closed fully, maybe it's like this, right? But it couldn't, so it was like this. So it triggered like this automatic safety response for the train. So it couldn't close, and then that's why it couldn't go. So everyone is just stuck there. It's like, why can't it close? Huh? And then guess what happened? If the door can't close, what happens? You have to manually override the thing, right? This is what I think, okay? This is not really publicly reported. So the passengers were asked to all get off the train, and it's like, okay, we're not gonna take you.
Leave.
Then they just drive the train to like their train parking area. The train stop area where they can, analyze, inspect what happened, investigation.
Whatever, right?
And then that's when they found out,
Oh, is this gum again?
shit! So lots of money went into cleaning the trains. And you know who were affected? It's not just the passengers in that particular train or the one who actually stuck the gum there. It's not just them. Okay? It's the subsequent people on the subsequent trains. If one train is delayed, the back trains can't come, right? So basically the whole train system, maybe at least for that particular line, is just congested for that morning. And imagine you're just like rushing for time. Rushing forward is like, and then guess what? Next day, the report came out that this was caused by some freaking irresponsible teenager who did not throw away their gum properly. And I don't know how you feel, but I will feel freaking mad. Okay, this is so stupid. Why is this a problem, honestly? Like, if you tell me, okay, some terrorist, okay, I get it, okay? That is a legitimate, very scary case. But for a gum, really? The highest train fare that you can get, do you know how much it is? Just make a guess. I'll give you another 3 seconds. Okay, so it's 2.37 cents. $2.37 for a full ride. If you take from one end to another end, that's $2.37. As of the recording of this video, this is accurate. How many cities can match that, honestly? Even when I was in Melbourne, the maximum train ride was $5, which was already like such an amazing price. But for them, it's like bus ride and trams. And do they have train? I've never taken train from there. Okay, anyway, there was this MRT staff that actually said that if so much money goes into cleaning, like every single train, the MRT fares will likely go up, right? And then who's gonna complain again? You guessed it, it's us. And then it comes back to us when we refuse to be considerate and we refuse to be responsible gum chewers. And it's so unfair to the people who were actually enjoying chewing gum and they actually really bother to, dispose of gum properly. But unfortunately, this is the case. It's an all or nothing thing, okay? It can't be like, oh, you're good, it's okay, you can continue to chew gum. No, because the person beside you is sticking his gum right up your okay? So, yeah, no such thing, unfortunately. If he's not chewing gum, then you also can't get to chew gum. I mean, that's how the law works, right? Be happy when you are taking your train and then you are doing your keyboard warrior thing. Why can't Singapore unban chewing gum? And then you're just typing that maybe like on your lap on the MRT train. Yeah, think about that, okay? Maybe it could have been like $7 now from one end to another, or maybe even like 10, and because the train thing happened on July and then on August. So I would think the government is like,
Okay, that's it.
we don't want to go through this matter again. Let's just put an end to it because this money can be put to better use than cleaning. When there's no need to clean, we can just
Ben.
chewing gum. I'm not sure where Singapore, they spend their money, and I'm not really contributing to that right now. So actually, it's very easy for us today, right now, to judge this decision then, but it must have been very difficult for the ministers then, I think, unless they didn't really put much consideration, but just like, then they took 9 years for this decision, for this law to be passed. So I think it's not easy, but there's always a trigger point, okay? Recently, in the past few years, our MRT trains have been breaking down, kind of like, I think there were quite a few occasions, maybe about 3 years ago, if my memory serves me, okay? Any disruption caused by chewing gum has already been eradicated, right? So if we still have gums, right, there will be so many more problems, okay? Take it into consideration, okay, when you think about your lack of human rights. So on 3rd Jan 1992, what happened? Chewing gum has been banned. It's banned the import, the sales and the manufacture of chewing gum. There will be two sectors of people. The one group is like,
Yeah! So many problems. Obviously, I go with the Singapore government. Like, thank you so much.
and then there's another group that are like,
Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening. I just think that education would be great.
there'll be people who are for the ban and people against the ban, and then people who are against the ban, I feel like they do make a good point when they say that, okay, education could have helped. Because honestly, this education part, I couldn't really find much information, so which means maybe not much has been done except for the SPC part. Okay, so actually in 1982, I forgot about this, but in schools, they were already not selling gums also. So you could only get gum from outside your school, which I'm sure is not very hard because I'm sure there are lots of mama shops still selling gum. So that was one of the things that they did, which I feel it is maybe too soft an approach. If they had done the education part properly, 9 years, I think it would have been enough. So I'm actually more of thinking that education has not really been done like super well then. But nevertheless, this was just what happened, okay? So we just, whatever they did, we didn't care, we didn't listen. We also maybe didn't even realize that the advertisements were gone for gum. Who would know? Who would know? Which advertisement is missing now? I ask you, huh? I don't know. Nivea? Are they still advertising? Okay, so we talked about the education part, which may have been lacking. Maybe our government then, okay, I just speculate. Maybe they have so many things on their hand because we were still developing then. So maybe this was like the lesser of their concerns. So they didn't put as much emphasis on it. And then subsequently what happened was the 2 back-to-back train incidents, right? Then they were like,
Oh no, let's all panic together and then we just ban everything.
ultimately there's more pros than cons, you get what I mean? So there's the education thing. And another thing was that the ban was actually announced on 31st December 1991, starting from 3rd Jan. So that's like a 3 days period for anyone holding any amount of chewing gum to sell their stocks, which I feel is an unreasonable amount of time. There is this importer, it's called YLF Marketing. At that period of time, they actually said that they made losses of $430,000.
Nani?
You were given such a short period of time to dispose of the gum. So other countries actually know this is happening and they are trying to make you sell your super fresh chewing gum goods at a super low price. Okay, so many people couldn't sell it, right? You couldn't sell finished, and then there's just lots of fresh chewing gum stocks. Then what do? They sell them illegally. We don't give any time for like shop owners to clear their stock. Even if they were to sell at like a discount, if they just got in like a lot of stocks, it's very hard to sell. But it just feels like there's no humanness. They weren't trying to consider the aspect of owners, especially small shop owners, and they actually went to enforce the ban very early on 17 January. So that's 14 days, 2 weeks after the ban, right? 5 shops were reported to be caught for selling gum. Maybe you should give some time, maybe before, And maybe a little bit of time after you push out quite a big law like this, it's like, I ban it now, I want it now. Say you got a big stock, and then how many people really buy lots of chewing gum? Maybe you just buy like 1-2 packs. So you can say,
I mean, what do you expect? The law has been passed, throw away your goods now.
I don't know, okay, if you do business, would you be okay with throwing away your stocks like that? This is like your money. Okay, I just feel quite sorry for the shop owners. Such a short period of time has been given, and then there was no chance. Like, they don't give chance to these shop owners also. I'm all for this chewing gum ban, honestly. From looking at the cleaning costs, and honestly, I don't want prices to hike up even more, like especially from like MRT. MRT is like our, something like part of, we keep the prices low, and then we tell people, look at our public transportation, so amazing. I think this ban is totally justified. It's just that more time should have been given to the shopkeepers, shop owners, mama shop people. Also, it would have been better if they enforce it at a later date. I would say like, yeah, there's no closing eyes for the law. You can't like half kill a person and then leave him lying dead, and you say, I didn't kill that person. I only stabbed him. He died himself. This is like something a little bit more minor. It may be okay to ban it a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, you know what? I'm risking my life telling you guys this, okay? So on July 2003, Singapore actually signed NAFTA. But not really NAFTA, it's the US-Singapore Free Trade Agreement. So it's ASFTA? I got it. Yeah, so ASFTA has been signed with US, right? With this, actually we are able to bring in gum that has therapeutic uses and medicinal uses, or like nicotine gums. Basically, it's like health products thing, okay? But
not for recreational,
because
We don't want you to have fun.
so if you just want to
Nom, 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 nom.
every day disturbing everyone around you and then sticking, not for you, okay? No. So usually these gums are also like prescribed. But I'm sure these are not something that you will buy. Even if you are really craving gum, will you go and get like a nicotine gum if you don't actually smoke? Yeah, you won't, right? On 18 March 1993, there was an article that says, oh, less littering by gums, yay! But the thing is like, obviously, who is this article person? Let me see. It's you again, Nathan? Yeah, so what do you think? Personally, I would say I really enjoy the benefits from this gum ban, because I like to put my hands on the seat like that. So this is the chair, and I like to put like that. I don't know if it's overseas, but there are definitely instances where I do this and then I touch some disgusting gum that's left there by inconsiderate people. Maybe it's in another country, I don't know. I don't really remember, but I remember this experience, okay? Let me know down in the comments if you are pro this ban or you're against this ban, if you think Singapore is like Ba Sing Se. In Singapore, it is just, we control it quite tightly, I would say. But I would think a lot of us, like educated people, are like more learned. At the end of the day, we always look at the bad and we never really try to focus on the good. There are so many people trying to immigrate to Singapore purely because of the security that we have. If you are a woman, okay, 99% of the time, or at least a high chance, 3 AM you can feel safe on the streets. And that's what I like about Singapore, okay? There are factors that other people look at. You may be like, I hate Singapore, but I can't give up this really strong passport. So what do you want? If you want to hate us, you have to hate us like as a whole, right? But don't be picking out certain aspects of us and then hating those aspects, and then you still want the good stuff. You get what I mean? So consider things in the whole, and then maybe come and say, oh, okay, then I want to immigrate to somewhere else. I actually know people who immigrated to like Canada, to then the cold. So cold. But yeah, even I have also considered immigrating, and honestly, there's nothing to say. It's very easy for a foreigner to say something like,
we're like Ba Sing Se, because we're so controlled.
let me know what you think, and honestly, I know that I'm quite pro Singapore still at the end of the day, because I think my life is pretty okay. And if you live in Singapore, what do you think? I'd be like Ba Sing Se, and let me know what Singapore videos you want me to do. Okay, well, see you in the next video. Bye!